Hey guys, Malfunction here. Welcome to another episode of The Narrative. Today I'm going to talk about tokenism. And of course everybody knows what tokenism is, but in regards to comic books and the world of fantasy and science fiction and all that, but especially comic books, because I'm a comic book writer, creator, I create characters, that's my world, it's my universe, and that's my guilty pleasure as well. So I'm going to read a bit of what I've written, and then I'm going to get into the whole thing so you understand where I'm coming from about this. So, tokenism. As a comic writer, I write stories from experience, personal or shared. It takes a lot of research and development over a long time, even years, as I try to write a story, or as people try to write a story that encompasses the world of the character that you place them in, or that I place them in. Sometimes I wonder if those who have created anything from a single thought. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what I wrote on that. So sometimes I wonder if those who haven't created anything from a single thought, because it starts with an idea, right? You come up with an idea and you go, okay, and that, but then and then, no, that won't work. And then you build and you build and you build. So, from a single thought and built that up to something amazing, right? They think that the best way to, and because they haven't, they think the best way to cut through the process of doing all that thinking, all that effort, and putting all the intellectual ideas and beliefs and ideologies, because each character is built up of something very important. Their own story arcs or their own ideology, like Superman, right? He's a good guy through and through. He does not go bad no matter what, and even if he does, he comes back. And like Batman, does not kill no matter what, I want him to do because of the Joker doing all this crazy stuff. But that's their ideology, that no, I will not kill someone. Especially with Batman, with the Joker, and anyone in this universe. So, not sure why they just went pink, but we'll see. They think the best way to cut through that is by taking something that's been around for over 50, 60 years, or even 30, 20 years, and jumping on board and going, okay, now we're going to change this into something else. Now, sometimes it's a good thing. It's a good reason we want to do it, because they think society needs this change. They believe that that they need more black characters in a TV series, or more LGBT characters in a TV series, or a comic book, or so on. Or they need more women in a comic book or movie or whatever, in a story to make it more sellable, because it's all about money. When it comes to characters in the new age of the medium that we live in, it's all about that, rather than about the story, about the characters. And so whatever sells is the bread and butter of the day, right? And of course, it's very important to come up with something that is actually, that people can believe in. And so, you have to create a narrative around it. You got to make sure that the ideology is right. And so sometimes people are in a rush to do something, they just pick and choose. I mean, I even got told that my character could have an amazing background if I did this, by someone who I just recently met. And I thought, wow, man, Red Dot could have this whole lineage and history because of this information. I said, tell me more. And so you get all this new information that you never thought you could have, because you came up with an idea for a character, but there's other people who have more better information about it, who can make it a better thing. And he didn't say, well, this is what you should do. He goes, he said, well, yeah, this is, we have this in our culture and this, and he didn't say, you can't write about us. He just said, yeah, this is, yeah. And I said, oh, wow, this is awesome. Okay, I need to sit down and write about this, and research this. And so, and then he also said, I said, this is also something else I'm working on another project. He said, yeah, I can find you a linguist. And I go, wow. So this is, this is taking the opposite effect of tokenism. This is saying, going to the people and going, hey, what do you want? I mean, I didn't go to the people. I was just telling the story. I was saying, this is what I'm looking at doing. So what do you think would happen? Now, sometimes this person could have said, well, dude, that's one of our, that that the ethnicity of that is our character, our part of our culture, so you can't take that. He said, no. He sees that what my ideology is, because having an ideology is very important. That your belief is that you want to create something good, and that is always a thing. That when it comes to comic books, you want to create something good, right? You want to make sure that that what goes out into the world is going to make people talk, to communicate a message, and the message has to be about goodness, and it doesn't have to be done in a good way. It can be done in a bad way, but the message has to be about good. It's about help. It's about, right and wrong, because that's what comic books are about. Good versus evil. That's what heroes are about. Good versus evil. A hero goes through so many struggles, but in the end he succeeds with the help of his friends, or he, out of his, out of his gut, gumption or whatever, he comes out and goes, I will battle. I will battle, and I will, I'll find out what I need to do, and I'll get through this, or someone will come in and help him push him through to do that. And I think, and a lot of times we do need that. We need people to help us. Not like the old idea is, the saying, "No man's an island, no woman's an island, no child's an island." It takes a village to raise a child. And so just like that, it takes a village to raise a story. But the person who's created the character has to make sure that he is or she is, or if there's two of them, they, that they are there, that it stays to the core beliefs of what they want to do with the character. That even if you have other people writing it, it still stays the same to the ethos. So a lot of times, I'll write about if I'm doing a book. Writing a story that will become I'll write it as a book or something, in a short story, and then I'll turn it of a novella, or turn it back into a comic book. But I'll write about 30 pages of background, right? So that I can have all these background ideas of what this will do. If I'm talking about Lilith, I need to give her a background for one of our characters, Templeton, right? So he's got to have this whole background of that one character has to go, why is she like this? And so, because this is the world of that character, and everybody, if you talk to any writer who would come up with this, and I've had great teachers, writing teachers, and, people have, over the years I've been able to learn myself and research, but also people have taught me about these things. And for thousands of stories and books and comics and movies and TV shows that I've watched in my life, in my lifetime of 35 years of just watching movies and TV, right? And the Western culture of living here in New Zealand. And mostly American, of course. And so, I think that when people try to tokenize a character, take a white character and make it black, take a black character and make it Asian, and vice versa, or make or make him Indian, or make him Latino. I think the best thing to do there is create a completely new character. And I say it wholeheartedly because I believe in that, because I think it's important to have new characters all the time, because, hey, these characters, the new characters you create will be another 80 years, like Superman, it'll take that long to develop them and to following. But a lot of times, as I said, people like to shortcut, and they take something that's somebody else has created, and they crap all over it, and fans get pissed off about it, and then they get pissed off at the fans, and they don't realize what they've done because they won't listen. And me, I've been listening to how things are in the world. I like to research everything, because I'm a very intuitive person. I think I've always been like that, and my dad can attest to that. The fact that I used to tear apart his remote control cars that he built. I'd pull them apart and didn't know how to put them back together, because what does a 7-year-old kid know? And so anyway, so I've always been like that. So with stories, even I either pull them apart and go, what makes it tick? And sometimes I screw up, and sometimes I make it right, and sometimes I try to fix it. But we're not all perfect, and stories develop over time. We know this. That's why kryptonite was invented for Superman, right? That's why Red Sun was invented for Superman, so he could be weak at points, that he cannot always be superior, that he could not always be, the toughest guy in the room, you know, and so he can't always be able to beat Lex Luthor. Luthor has to win sometimes. And same with Batman, and, you know, and the Speed Force, or whatever, you know, and all those things, like the, you know, Reverse Flash and all that stuff. You know, so, I mean, I've forgotten more about comics than I can remember because of my concussion, sorry guys. But, so I don't try to note all these different things, but I speak out of what I know, and I know stories, and I know that I love comic books, and I love the importance. I believe the comic books are the most important form of art form that we can never lose the value of, because I think it is, comics have this amazing tactile thing that you can just open it, there it is, the character. You don't have to think about the character, it's there. And then you read about the character, what he's saying, there. So you can't do that in the book. In the book, you have to imagine what the character is. In the movie, you can't hear the thoughts of the character. In the comic book, you hear thoughts, what he's saying, what had happened in the past, what could happen in the future, what he looks like, or she looks like, or they look like, child looks like, whatever, aliens, whatever. And so I reckon the comic books and manga, for that instant, you know, is just as important to our society as any other art form. Maybe more than movies or anything else. Actually, to be honest, I think comics are the greatest things in the world. And I'm just biased, but I'm just saying that because you know, after, 40 years of, 35 years of reading it, and maybe about 25 years of living in the industry of it and researching it and all that, and just loving the stories and, you know, being a collector and a fan. So I think it's important that we don't tokenize characters. And, you know, I love what, you know, what Grant Morrison did with the Bat family over in DC. We created whole new characters like Batwing, you know, just so that there is, you know, that character. And then you also got Steel, who picked up the mantle when Superman was dead, you know, and sort of built his own armor, you know, that sort of stuff. That was where the weak, you know, rise up to fill the gap with the heroes left, or the strongest left. And that's always the thing, that that you got to allow for that humanity to come through in the stories. That you have to allow, you know, you can't just tell a fantastical story without the human side of the characters, of the human beings that are on the ground. You know, the street person. You know, that emotion has to be there, because otherwise it's just fantasy and it doesn't connect. And that's what I love about Orville. And I think that's where, I guess, you know, if you watch my Orville thing, that I love Orville because that's what Star Trek used to do, right? What Gene Roddenberry did, you know, to put people in a fantastical world, but look at society and put the stories about society in it to make us think. And that's what comic books should do, make us think. I mean, there are comic books that are just for the fun of it, and I love that. Just I can just pick up, oh yeah, cool, read, and you can't always have the guts and glory of it. You can always have the dessert as well, and I think that's important to have dessert, and I think it's good to have dessert. And but it's also, you got to have the, you know, the meat and vegetables of it all as well. And so, thank you for listening. And my name's Malfunction, and this is the narrative and tokenism. Cheers.